on the mound for Lowell in relief of Matt Shapiro, who goes 7 and does not allow a run.
Looks to be righty Brian Lee out of UMass Amherst, the junior from Somerset, Massachusetts.
There you go. Brian Lee will be the new pitcher for the Lowell All-Americans. Lee, so far this year, is 1-0 with a 1.59 ERA, 4 appearances all out of the bullpen. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and opponents hitting 150 against Brian Lee, who Sal told you is from UMass Amherst, a junior from Somerset, Massachusetts. He throws right-handed, 6', 185 right-handed pitcher in relief of the lefty Matt Shapiro, who was splendid tonight, Sal. 7 scoreless innings.
Yeah, the final line on Shapiro, as you said, 7 innings pitched, no runs allowed, 4 hits, and striking out 9 and only walking 1.
Really a tremendous night for Shapiro. Of course, a excellent night for Jason Markovitz already. I alluded to the franchise record. The most innings ever pitched by a North Shore Navigators pitcher is 8 1/3. That thrown by Adam Herter last year. Herter also owns the only 2 complete games in North Shore history, but those were both shortened complete games. He threw a 6-inning complete game against Sanford. That rain shortened. The Navs would win that game, that coming on July 23rd. And then Herter also picked up a 6-inning complete game loss against the Holyoke Blue Sox on July 30th of last year. And again, the most innings ever pitched by a North Shore Navigator pitcher is 8 1/3 by Adam Herter against the Manchester Silkworms on June 26th of last year. Now, Jason Markovitz looking to break records tonight. He has thrown 8 scoreless innings, and there is no action in the North Shore bullpen. So we will see what comes of this. Jason Markovitz getting ready to pitch the 9th, but first, the North Shore Navigators will look to give him a lead. We enter the bottom of the 8th inning scoreless, and the Navs will have the top of the order up against Brian Lee. Tre Dennis followed by Mike LaBelle and Patrick Brady here. Dennis tonight is 0 for 3. He struck out swinging in the first, and in the 5th, with 2 on and 2 outs, he lined out to right field. He bunts and pops it up foul behind the plate. The count is 0-1. Tre Dennis, lefty from Long Beach State, trying to help out his collegiate teammate. Markovitz, Dennis, and John Hill are all members of the Long Beach State 49ers, who also go by the name Dirtbags. Dennis trying to get aboard and score for Markovitz. He shows bunt, lays it down, third base side. Valdez field, throws to first, not in time. Dennis beats it out. A tremendous bunt by Tre Dennis. Valdez fielded with the glove. That was his mistake. Can't do that against the speed of Tre Dennis, who beats it out, and he's at first with nobody out.
They give Dennis the single on that one, so 5 hits on the night for the Navigators, and Dennis's first time on base. So we'll see if the speedy center fielder tries to get things started and possibly steal a base.
So Dennis at first base, nobody out. Mike LaBelle may be asked to bunt here. Mike LaBelle, right-handed batter out of the University of Rhode Island. There you see the replay, and Tre Dennis laid down a beauty of a bunt. Valdez fielded on with the glove and then threw. Eric Oxford had to reach behind Tre Dennis to try and catch that one, but could not do it in time.
Couldn't hold the bag and was unsuccessful with the tag.
Now LaBelle shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 1. A fastball low outside, and LaBelle is ahead in the count, 1-0. Waiting on deck is the leading hitter in the NECBL, Patrick Brady. He's 1 for 3 tonight. 1 ball and no strikes to Mike LaBelle. Brian Lee comes set, throws to first. Dennis dives back in under the tag of Eric Oxford. Brian Lee is a very quick pickoff move, so we'll watch that. Tre Dennis with 7 stolen bases this year. LaBelle shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 2. It's a slider by Lee, missed down and away, and the count is 2-0 now to Mike LaBelle. Jason Falcon, the third base coach and head coach, flashes a new series of signs for Mike LaBelle. Lee looks in at Kyle Felix and throws to first again. Dennis back in. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Scoreless ball game, bottom half of the 8th. Lee comes set. Now the 2-0 pitch. Lowell showing bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 3. Lee throwing a fastball that time and missing well outside, and he falls behind. 3 balls and no strikes to Mike Lowell. You have to imagine Lowell is taking here. Efrey Valdez on the edge of the infield grass. He shows bunt and bunts it down the first base side. It's fielded by Eric Oxford, who will run to the first base bag. Now tag Mike Lowell, who deked back. You can't do that, by the way. You can't run backwards down the first baseline, and Eric Oxford is unhappy with that.
Well, it looked like Lowell took exception to the hard tag by Oxford. Oxford knew the rule when Lowell started going backwards, and he started heading back to first base, and Lowell took off for first base, and he just stuck his glove out and maybe a little harder tag than necessary, but Lowell did take exception, but he'll head back. He did get the sacrifice bunt down and got Tre Dennis over to second base.
So Tre Dennis at second base with 1 out for Patrick Brady. And what else can you ask for if you're a North Shore fan? Patrick Brady, your best hitter so far this year. Batting with a runner in scoring position in a tie ball game late. That's what you have. We're scoreless, bottom of the 8th. And excellent speed at second base in Tre Dennis. Brian Lee comes set. Here's the first pitch to Brady. Slider checks his swing. Did he go? The appeal. He did. Derek January, the field umpire, makes the call from the left of second base. And Brady's behind 0-1. Brady's job here is to hit. He looks down at Jason Falcon for any kind of sign, but I can promise you Patrick Brady is up there to try and single here and get Tre Dennis home. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider in the dirt. It gets behind Felix quickly. He can't find it, but Dennis is still at second. Didn't want to risk it. That ball was right in front of home plate. Kyle Felix danced for a second trying to find it, but ultimately did. And so the count now even 1-1. Tre Dennis at second base. Dennis with 7 stolen bases this year, which is a sign of his speed, which is elite.
All-Americans do have double barrel action in their bullpen. Lefty Bobby Lucas and unable to see what their righty is. A little blocked by the light pole.
Here's the 1-1 to Brady. Runner goes. Pitch inside. The throw to third. Not in time. Tre Dennis steals third base. His 8th stolen base of the year. And he's at third with 1 out, and Brady now ahead in the count, 2-1. Well, that's a big spot for a stolen base. Now the infield will have to come in. Tom Elliott and Oliver Palmer, edge of the infield grass with Valdez and Oxford even at first and third. Brady grounds one right back at Lee, who makes a bare hand snag and throws to first in time. What a play by Brian Lee. The backhand snag and then the throw to first. And now there are 2 outs. Patrick Brady hit that ball sharply right up the middle, but Lee up to the challenge.
And tell you, Lee, the only person on the field that could have made that play. He had to reach across his own body to make that snag, and if that gets by, that's a lead for the Navigators.
Now the infield gets to go back. Tre Dennis still at third base. Now 2 outs for Jim Schultz. And the first pitch, fastball up and away, ball 1. Jim Schultz is 0 for 3. He grounded out to third in the first and fourth, and then reached on an error by Valdez in the 6th. 1 ball and no strikes to Jim Schultz. Lee comes set. Here's the pitch. In the dirt behind Felix. Dennis will score. Tre Dennis scores on the wild pitch, which squirts behind Kyle Felix. And the Navs take a 1-0 lead in the 8th. Tre Dennis on his horse. That ball just barely got behind Kyle Felix, and Dennis scored with that elite speed. The Navs now lead 1-0. Jim Schultz with a 2-0 count now. Looks at the pitch from Lee. Swings and grounds one to Valdez, who fields, throws to first in time. But the Navs pick up 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and nobody left aboard. Through 8 complete at Frazier Field, the Navs lead 1-0 on the NECBL Broadcast Network and LinCam TV.